Hi everyone, my name's Evie and welcome back to my channel. Today we are playing Tyrion, Cuthbert, Attorney of the Arcane. And this week we are going to join our best boy with investigating the murder of Catherine Bellwether, who was a really not so very nice lady. You know, teacher, position of power, using that to bully children just because they happen to be bad kids. I don't believe it, nor does Tyrion, so we are going to jump straight on in and see what's what and try and clear sweet little Wallace's name. So without further ado, let's get going. It's been a few hours since Wallace was arrested. You and Celeste were with him during the lockdown, so the Inquisition had to take your statements. But the more they questioned you, the more you could tell that they had doubts about your testimony. You will need to do more if you want to establish an alibi for Wallace. That took longer than I expected. We've already lost a lot of time talking to the Inquisition, but we should be free to roam around now. Where should we go first? The crime scene sounds like a good start. We still need to figure out what actually happened. Ruby said that the body was found in Lecture Hall 2B. It's in the west wing of the school. Alright, that seems like a good place to start. But I want to look at everything else first. It's a statue. There's some writing on the platform it's on. Gillian Chemnitz, the inventor of early artificery. So this guy is the one who invented it. Who'd have thought that we could use machines to harness magical energy? Artificery is a truly marvelous invention. With it, anyone can utilize the convenience of magic without having noble blood. Although, the expenses of owning artificery present their own barrier. But that expression on his statue, it kind of looks like he doesn't want to be here, even though his statue is huge. He does give off that attitude, doesn't he? It's a painting of a man with some sort of creature on his arm. It's cute, I want one so I can pet it and give it treats. There's some text under it. Dr. Delbert Tafarus, a mage, historian, archaeologist, anthropologist and botanist. Best known for his work studying the history of the ancient dragons. Through his work, great leaps were made in the study and development of the school of evocation. On his arm is one of the lost pseudo-dragons, which have now gone extinct. Aww. It's a painting of a professor with some kind of magical tool. There's some text under it. Dr. Paul Varela, also known as the Archaeologist of the North. He spent many years studying and exploring the mountainous regions of Shardolin. And through his investigation, he came upon one of the many lairs of the Scaled Lord. He was honoured both by the Church and the Wyvern Historical Society for this impressive discovery. Okay, that's kind of neat. Doors, stairs, floor, nothing. Okay, I hope Wallace is okay. He looked really scared when Commander White arrested him. Don't worry, we'll find out what really happened. But first, you need to inspect the crime scene. I know, thank you. Where should we go next? The first thing we need to do is find out exactly what happened. Mr. Mora said that the body was found in Lecture Hall 2B. We should start our investigation there. Okay, so we'll go there. Oh my gosh, the little chalk outline. Hey, stop right there. As you try to enter the classroom, you're stopped by one of the Inquisition Knights. I'm the defense attorney for the accused. We have a right to investigate the crime scene. Yeah? From what I've heard, the kid doesn't have an attorney yet. Right, you haven't been able to talk to Wallace about that yet. It's quite all right. Let them in. Lady Steelwind. Do not call me that. While you work under me, you will address me as Prosecutor Steelwind. You know what? I do like you. You know you're... Yes, Prosecutor Steelwind. Oh, what's that smell? As you enter the classroom, you find yourself inhaling a sour and rancid odor. The stench is so overwhelming that your eyes begin to tear up. Oh. Okay, that's why they suspect him, but who else studies necromancy? Don't worry, you eventually get used to the smell. What are you even doing here, Steelwind? I'm here to coordinate the investigation. You look around the crime scene. There isn't a single Inquisition Knight in the room. Isn't that the Inquisition's job? Due to the circumstances, I've decided to handle this case personally. Well, since we've got you here, could we ask you some questions about what happened? Can I assume that you're planning to defend this case? That would make you my opponent. What do I have to gain from helping you? Right. However, I would be willing to answer your questions, but only if you answer some of mine as well. Oh, okay. What could she possibly want to ask you? Oh, Tyrion, I almost forgot. Since this is our first official case together, I wanted to show you something that I learned. Okay, well, what is it?
Prepario Arcanum.
What was that? That is the incantation for the detect magic spell. Detect magic? Wait, does that mean... Yeah, we can see magical traces while we're examining crime scenes now. Nice. It's a painting of some sort of musician. There's some text written below it. Dr. Nicholas Gussu, inventor of the Arcane engine. His work revolutionized trade and travel across the seas. He was well known for not discriminating between the common folk and the nobility, judging his assistants based purely on their merit. When he wasn't conducting research within the Imperial Academy, he was known to compose symphonies for the king in his free time. Looks like he was a man of many talents. Oh, they have books here too. They appear to be textbooks about alchemy. Ah, lame. The lecture hall has a window with a view. I feel like I'd just stare outside all day if I had to attend class here. You're not much of a student, are you? Ugh, I just can't spend hours sitting in one place. I need to move around. She was pretty antsy while you were studying in the library earlier. How have you learned so many spells if you're so distractible? I don't know. I just learned the spell formula and cast stuff. I see. Is that not normal? Oh, sweet baby girl. This must be where the students sit during lectures. Ugh, I can't imagine sitting in one place all day. Have you never attended a school before? No, we never had a proper school in Cornhaven. I mainly got my education from books that my parents bought from travelling merchants. What about you? I used to attend a public school in my hometown. But after Ms. Tamora adopted me, she handled my education personally. Oh, Aria. I can't believe the professor is dead. We just saw her this morning. There's a chalk outline around where her body was. It appears that most of this blood came from her abdomen. Is that where the fatal wound was? There's a lot of blood in this puddle, but there's no trail leading to it. And there aren't any magical traces anywhere else in the room. I doubt the murderer used magic to clean it. Does that mean that the murderer attacked her in this room? Maybe, but it's hard to say for certain. Okay.
Prepario Arcanum.
There's a trace of illusion magic next to the body. We believe that the suspect donned an illusory disguise immediately after murdering the victim. Using his disguise, he discreetly made his way back to the library unnoticed. Assuming that Wallace isn't the murderer, the real killer must have used a similar disguise. Which means that no one would have seen them leave this classroom. It'll be harder to find any witnesses that saw the perpetrator. What? What's wrong? There's a trace of necromancy on the body. Necromancy? Isn't necromancy the type of magic that creates undead? She's not just going to get up and walk away, right? We're honestly not sure. That's part of the reason why I've stationed myself here. But what does that have to do with Wallace? Oh, you didn't know? Wallace Nightgrave is a necromancer. He's a what? We believe that he drained her life force completely using a necromancy spell. That's why there are no visible wounds. Here is the autopsy report. It will tell you everything that you need to know. So if there are no cuts and there's no bruising, where did the blood come from? But in the modern day, even the Inquisition doesn't commonly deal with necromancy. They're all on edge about what other spells he might have used. So, I'm here to make sure that nothing unholy happens to the body. I can't believe it. You've heard stories of necromancers before, but why would Wallace be studying something like that? But even if Wallace is a necromancer, aren't there plenty of other mages who can cast necromancy spells? This is an academy for mages, after all. No. There are no laws against it, but the knowledge required to learn necromancy is heavily controlled. No one in their right mind would dare teach necromancy beyond basic healing magic. Frankly, I'm surprised even one student at this school was allowed to learn it. I can see why. But because of this specific piece of evidence, we know that he's the murderer. That's the first time you've seen a thought from Steelwind. Normally, you can only see thoughts from people who are stressed or excited. You doubt that Miss Steelwind is excited, so is something causing her to be stressed? Is there something you're not telling us, Steelwind? Because something tells me that this case isn't as straightforward as you claim it is. If you truly believe that, then why don't you prove it? Yeah, I can't see any more thoughts from her. She must be subconsciously guarding her mind now. But she's clearly hiding something. Miss McCoy, it's my understanding that you were adopted. Would you happen to know who your birth parents are? Hey, isn't that too personal of a question? You agreed to answer my questions, didn't you? But I didn't think you meant... It's fine, Tyrion. I'm fine with answering if it helps Wallace. I don't know who my birth parents are. I have never tried looking for them. I see. If I recall correctly, your spell compendium only contained one spell. Considering your upbringing, how did you learn Mage Blade in the first place? I bought a scroll from a merchant a few years ago. It had Mage Blade's spell formula on it. But I know more than one spell now. I actually just learned a few new spells today. I'm sorry, spells? As in plural? How long did it take you to learn those spells? A few hours, I think. What was that just now? I see. Well, I think that's all I need to ask for now. Okay? She's sharing information about the investigation for that? Why is she so interested in Celeste all of a sudden? Oh, I can't take it anymore! That smell is driving me crazy! What is that? From what I understand, there was a bit of an accident a few days ago. It happened during one of the classes that the headmaster was teaching. He misread the instructions for an alchemy experiment, and as a result, he accidentally produced this rancid-smelling vapor. Vapor? It's not poisonous, is it? Of course not. I wouldn't be standing here if it were. It's just extremely unpleasant to the senses. Oh, okay, so it wasn't actually, like, an undead thing. Do you know what happened here, Steelwind? Well, it all began when the City Watch received a call from the Academy. Supposedly, there was an attack on campus grounds and the entire building was put on lockdown. The City Watch set up a perimeter around the building while they waited for the system to deactivate. What? Couldn't the Academy have let them in once the scene was secure? I'm not sure about the specifics, but supposedly the lockdown can't be shut down manually. You'll have to ask one of the Academy's admins if you want to know more. Anyways, you two were also present during the lockdown, am I correct? Did either of you see anything suspicious? No, but we actually met the professor that morning. She was still alive then. I see. That does match with the accounts from our other witnesses. Do you have any idea where she went after she left the library? The headmaster gave us express permission to be here. If you have an issue with that, then take it up with him. I'll have you know I was on my way to do just that. She said that she was going to meet with the headmaster. He also mentioned that when I questioned him. She attended the meeting as planned. If the headmaster met with Bellwether, you'll probably want to speak with him next. She must have found her way into this classroom afterward. Would you happen to have a map of the academy? I do. I have extra copies if you'd like one. What is it? There's only one direct path from the headmaster's office to this lecture hall. But I wonder if she took any detours. Do you know how the body was discovered? 2 members of the kitchen staff spotted her collapsed inside this classroom. They reported the situation to the campus admin while they attempted to save her life. But it was too late. The professor had already passed away by the time any healers arrived. Those 2 staff members, who are they? I believe their names were Valentina and Valerie Iannis. They're apparently sisters. Oren was the one who collected their statements. Did he notice anything off about their behaviour? From what he said, they had a few quirks, but nothing too suspicious. Quirks? He told me that they were running and spinning around him during questioning. What does that mean? I have no idea. Perhaps they were still on edge after finding their co-worker murdered. Are they 8? You'll definitely want to speak with those staff members. I mean, 8 or some sort of fae. Are they human? We've already told the Inquisition this, but Wallace was with us the entire time. He couldn't have committed the murder. Yeah, he has a perfect alibi. Strong maybe, but his alibi is far from perfect. Ms. McCoy herself told us that. There was a small time period when she wasn't with him. What? Right. It was when I came to check on you after you knocked over that shelf. I got a little lost on my way back to Wallace. But still, we only lost each other for a few minutes. That may be, but unless his alibi is airtight, the evidence in this room proves that it was him. What do you mean? It will be easier to explain once you examine it yourself. I mean, I have examined it, so I got the...
Repario Arcanum!
Yeah, so I've got that, so that'll be why. Headmaster's office first. You follow the map that Steelwind gave you, and you arrive at the headmaster's office. Oh, hello there. I wasn't expecting guests today. Sorry for coming unannounced. You must be... My name is Theodore Redmond. I'm the headmaster of the Wyvern Imperial Academy. And judging from your appearance, you must be the protege of Ruby Tamora. To what do I owe the pleasure? They must be here to investigate the murder. Eris, I'm still heavy suspicious of you. You look like the dream girl, and all the glitchy stuff was happening. Wait, Eris? I thought you went to see Wallace. Unfortunately, the Inquisition is questioning him right now. They aren't allowing visitors. He must be so scared right now. I hope he's okay. Right. She had the same experience not too long ago. If there's anything I can do to help, please let me know. Let me look at your room first. It's a small table for guests. Is that wine? No, actually, it's just apple juice. Most of my guests are students, after all. It's a painting of a mage, but he doesn't quite look like a noble. Oh, that's Jason Steelwind, one of the chosen mages of the Scaled Lord. Wait, Steelwind, as in... Yes, he's the earliest recorded ancestor of House Steelwind. Legends say that the Scaled Lord bestowed his power upon him and his allies to create the first mages. Wow, it's hard to even tell that he and the prosecutor belong to the same bloodline. As with all the noble houses, House Steelwind had quite humble beginnings. If only they'd remember where they came from. There's a window with a view of the garden. The headmaster has a nice view from up here. There's a fireplace with some burning wood. It looks pretty cozy. It's a painting of someone. He looks like some sort of professor. That's Professor Lucas Gilbert. He was an instructor here many decades ago. He was well beloved by the students here, and he was quite the accomplished scholar. And this was all despite him lacking the ability to use magic. He studied magic without actually being able to use it. Yes, he was quite remarkable. Unfortunately, we lost him to illness very early in his life.
Arcanum.
You'd think there'd be a bit more magic in the headmaster of a magic school's office, but okay. This is terrible. To think that one of my prized students would be accused of murder. We heard your voice on the intercom when the lockdown happened. Are you the one who triggered it? Yes. I activated it when I received a call from one of the staff. They reported that Professor Bellwether had been attacked. How does the lockdown system work? It's an artificery network that covers the entire academy. In the event of an emergency, I can activate it using this stone. The headmaster pulls out a glowing stone from his desk. You can hear the hum of magical energy emanating from it. Once activated, the system creates magical barriers throughout the building. It's designed to contain and protect each room in the building. Could a powerful mage breach any of these barriers? I doubt it. The barriers can withstand a great amount of force. They even block mages from teleporting through them. And once activated, even I can't turn it off for an hour. What can you tell me about Wallace? Earlier you said that he was one of your prized students. I just need to understand. Why did the prosecutor say that he was a necromancer? Because technically, he is one. What? But why would he study something like that? Necromancy is probably one of the most dangerous and most scrutinized schools of magic. Its image has long been tainted by stories of dark wizards raising armies of the undead. However, it doesn't just control the forces of death. It also controls the forces of life. Forces of life? The truth is that healing magic is also classified as necromancy. Most healers don't care to admit it because of the stigma it has. But that's why Wallace is studying it. He wants to become a doctor. But there are plenty of mages who know healing magic. Why is Wallace being singled out? For years he's been studying necromancy beyond basic healing magic. He believes that high-level necromancy could revolutionize modern medicine. Unfortunately, many among the faculty don't see it that way. Wallace doesn't hail from a noble house. He's a mage that was born among the common folk. That explains so much, and I hate the class system. He's like me. Many of the faculty fear that he'll use his knowledge to raise armies of undead, just like the necromancers of old. The Imperial Academy isn't even permitted to teach it to students beyond basic healing magic. Then why did you allow him to study it? After everything that has happened to him, I made an exception. Everything that has happened to him. I'm not at liberty to say more. You'll have to ask him if you wish to know more. If you plan on defending Wallace, you'll need his spell compendium. Am I correct? Yes. Having a client's compendium is instrumental to acquitting them. You may find that a bit difficult. You see, after a certain incident, he destroyed his compendium. What? Why would he do that? Doesn't he need that to use magic? A spell compendium is a device mages use to keep track of what spells they can cast. It's really convenient for remembering the formulas and incantations of your spells, but it's not actually required to use magic. I thought of destroying mine a long time ago, but they're really expensive. Luckily, I have an unattuned spell compendium right here. I'd be more than happy to give it to you if it helps Wallace. Oh, thanks. Wallace just needs to maintain physical contact with it for 10 minutes. After that, the compendium will attune to his magic. Just make sure that you don't let another mage like Celeste hold it. Once it attunes to a mage, no one else can use it. Eris? Wonderful. I just hope you can persuade Wallace to attune to it. What can you tell me about Catherine Bellwether? Wow, that was a whole mess of emotions. She was rather unpleasant to work with. Well, no spit, do. Can you think of any enemies she might have had? Everyone that she came across? You might... You might as well list everyone who attended this school. Eris! It's best to be blunt with these sorts of things. As you saw yesterday, she had a pretty abrasive attitude towards the students. Many people in this school did not care for her. Maybe she wasn't the nicest person, but would that really be enough to motivate someone to murder her? Do you know what? Probably. People have been motivated to murder for less. She doesn't target and harass students, especially those who are from the common folk. She'd even made a habit of expelling those students for minor infractions. For commoners, magic can be our ticket out of poverty. I can't imagine how it'd feel to have that opportunity unfairly taken from you. She put so much pressure on those students. Some of them even left the academy of their own volition. They couldn't handle her constant verbal abuse. Even then, would that really be enough motive to commit murder? The human psyche is a fragile thing. It's astounding what someone might do when pushed far enough. I don't like that you said that with a smile on your face. I don't trust you. I need to go back to case 1 and, like, see. It's the same glitchy stuff. What about her relationship with the faculty? In some cases, it was worse than it was with the students. She'd often treat the staff like her personal servants. I've received many complaints from them about her behaviour. Why wasn't she sacked before she was murdered? Sorry if this sounds rude, but why didn't you just fire her if she was such a big problem? Thank you, Celeste! She's used her position to curry favour with the noble houses over the years. As you can imagine, the Academy's board is controlled by the nobility. If I ever tried to remove her, they would probably support her over me. She is the worst kind. I'm not glad she's dead, but I'm glad she can no longer do harm. I heard that you had a meeting scheduled with Professor Bellwether this morning. What time was this, and when did the meeting end? Our meeting was scheduled for noon. She arrived on time, and our meeting lasted until 1. Did anything seem off about her to you? No, she seemed to be her usual self. You detect a trace of fear, or is it nervousness? If you don't mind me asking, what was the purpose of your meeting? We met to discuss routine administrative matters. Despite our personal disagreements, we knew to stay civil when discussing professional affairs. But to be perfectly honest, it did always feel like I was treading on eggshells when speaking with her. But you were her superior, weren't you? Didn't she respect your authority? We had many arguments about how I was managing the academy. and she was very vocal about her distaste for the common folk students. She was difficult, to say the least. And I think that's all. So, kitchen. Hello? Is anyone there? Be right there. Sorry, but the cafeteria is closed right now. Actually, we're here to investigate the murder. We heard that 2 members of the kitchen staff discovered the body. Oh, that would be me. I'm Valentina Iannis. This music is far too happy to be investigating murders too. How about the other person? Do you know where they are right now? Oh, that would be my sister, Valerie. But I think she's somewhere else on campus right now. If you're with those knights, we've already told them everything we know. Actually, we're investigating separately from them. I wanted to ask you some questions about what you saw. Sure. You'd like to take a look around the kitchen, but Valentina looks a little anxious. Snooping around might scare her off. You should learn everything you can from her before you examine the kitchen. Fine. To start, can you tell us how you and your sister discovered the body? Right. My sister and I were walking in the hallway from the kitchen to the west exit. We spotted the professor in a nearby classroom. She was lying on the floor and bleeding. I used an emergency communication device to call for help. While I was doing that, my sister tried to wake her up. That would imply that Valerie thought that she could be resuscitated. But did she know if the professor was still alive or not? We're not sure, but she wasn't responding at all. She wasn't breathing, and she didn't have a pulse. What can you tell me about Catherine Bellwether? Yet another set of complicated emotions. Well, I guess there's no point hiding it anymore. She was a horrible person. She was really terrible to all of us. By all of us, do you mean the academy staff? Yeah. She always treated us like her personal servants. Sometimes she'd make messes on purpose, just so she could order us to clean it up. This probably sounds terrible, but I'm sure a lot of people are glad that she's gone. Interesting. Now, why would she be worried about that? Did you ever feel like your job was at risk because of Bellwether? Yes, actually. She was actually planning to fire all of the staff. All of the staff? That can't be true, can it? The academy needs the staff to function. I'm not sure about the details. That's just what Jan told us. Who's Jan? He's one of the academy's custodians. You can probably find him cleaning the halls if you look around. What do you know about the suspect in this case? His name is Wallace Nightgrave. He's a student here. He's that scary kid, right? The one that raises undead? Those are just rumours. You would never do something like that. But he studies necromancy, right? Have you ever actually met him? No, but I've heard the rumours. He's always hanging around the cemetery. I'm sure he's just biding his time, waiting for his chance to raise an army. It can't be helped that people think of him that way. He's a 16-year-old child. You guys are lunatics. But you can't help but be a little annoyed on his behalf. Exactly. Well, thank you. You were helpful. Celeste, this room was close to the crime scene. Could you cast Detect Magic and scan for magical traces? Sure. Oh, I'll just get out of your way then. Wow, she just bolted out of the room. What was that about? Let's look at everything first. They must serve the students' meals on these plates. It's a shame that they had to close the kitchen due to the investigation. It's a set of pots for cooking soups and the like. I wish I had pots like this. They look really sturdy. There's a large sack of produce in the corner. There's some wine here too. That must be for the professors. I mean, you can cook with wine. Oh, it's a plate of bread. They probably serve these as sides to the entrees. Don't get any ideas, Tyrion. What? Remember when we went to that fancy restaurant? You just kept ordering breadsticks and butter. The bread is free. I might as well take advantage of it. You know eating that many carbs isn't good for you. Yeah. It's a barrel full of some sort of drink. I wonder. It's probably not lotus juice, Celeste. Oh, she's so cute. And she's not glaring at us. Several commonly used ingredients are close to the cooking area. There's a rack of cooking implements hanging from the wall. Valentina must use these to cook for the students. There's a large cooking station here. They must prepare the meals in bulk here. Oh, magic.
Arcanum.
Nada. Okay. You spot Valentina again. He's speaking to someone in a blue-collar uniform. Could he be the custodian that she mentioned? Jan, where have you been? You still haven't fixed the plumbing in the kitchen sinks. Someone just died. Can't we take the day off for once? You're causing trouble for me and Valentina. Please be reasonable. Wait, why is Valentina suddenly speaking in the third person? Tyrion, sweetheart. Oh, hello. Valentina? Oh, my apologies. I can see why you're confused. It's because we're twins, and apparently that doesn't exist commonly in this world. I'm not Valentina. I'm her sister, Valerie. Are you trying to trick us or something? You look exactly the same. You remember reading about something like this before. Oh wow, it really is just uncommon, huh? You two are identical twins, aren't you? You're both genetically identical to each other. Yes, we are. Wait, this means that she was the one who discovered the body alongside Valentina. Since we have you here, do you mind if I ask you some questions about what happened? I'm terribly sorry, but I've already spent a lot of time looking for Jan here. I'm really behind on my work. But Jan was also nearby when we discovered the body. I'm sure he can answer your questions. Before you have a chance to object, Valerie quickly walks away. You guys are sus. I mean, nervous, probably, but... Wait! Do you want me to go after her? I'm pretty sure I can catch up to her. No, we don't want to scare those two more than we already have. Anyways, Valerie said that Jan was around when the murder happened. Maybe he saw something. Jan, was it? Do you mind if we ask you some questions about what happened? Ugh, really? Well, whatever. At least I have an excuse to take a break now. Cool. So, Jan, are you a part of the staff here? Yep, I'm a janitor. I clean and I do odd jobs here and there. Well, apparently that's all he has to say about that. Valerie mentioned that you were close to Lecture Hall 2B before they found Bellwether. What were you doing when the twins discovered the body? I was cleaning the halls. Bellwether knocked over a vase, and there were shards and dirt everywhere. Wait, you saw the professor before the twins arrived? Yeah, like I said, she broke the vase right in this hallway. It was probably 20-30 minutes before the twins found the body. You might have been the last person to see her alive. Did you see where she went after breaking the vase? Yeah, I think she went into that room over there. Jan points to the lecture hall that Bellwether was found in. Did you see anyone else enter the lecture hall? I'm honestly not sure. I was more worried about cleaning the mess she made. Well, did you notice anything off about her? She was in a pretty bad mood, but honestly, that's pretty normal for her. She was walking real slow. I didn't notice her at first, and she basically shoved me out of her way. After that, she knocked over that vase. I didn't even say anything after that, but she still yelled at me to be quiet. Did you see where she went after that? Not really, but the only thing in that direction is lecture hall 2B. I can't imagine her going anywhere else. This feels like illusions to me. What can you tell me about Catherine Bellwether? I've heard that she had a pretty bad relationship with the staff. She had a bad relationship with just about everyone. Students, the other teachers, I can't think of many people who actually did get along with her. I'm sure you had your own share of bad experiences with her. Yeah. She'd always yell at me when I was taking too long to get a job done. I hate to say it, but things are a lot more peaceful around here without her. In less than a day. That's blunt, to say the least. But you can't exactly blame him for thinking that. Valentina mentioned something interesting. Did you tell her that Bellwether was going to fire the academy staff? Yeah, I remember that. What made you think that she was going to do something like that? You know those arcane constructs in the library? Bellwether was the one that ordered them. Oh yeah, they're so cool! Well, a few weeks ago I overheard a meeting she was having with the headmaster. From what I heard, she was planning to order more constructs and entirely replace the staff. Oh. Well, I'm sure the headmaster rejected her proposal. I don't know. From the way she was talking, it sounded like he didn't have a say in the matter. But only the headmaster would have the authority to fire the staff. Why would she be that confident? Dunno. All I know is that she hated having common folk in the schools, even among the staff. He was really miffed that he was hiring common folk from the community centre. Okay, so... down in the hallway. There is... Oh. It's the entrance to a lecture hall. The door says that it's lecture hall 2F. 2H. 2B. This is the lecture hall where Bellwether's body was found. It's a door that leads into some kind of storage closet. There doesn't appear to be anything of note inside.
Prepario Arcanum!
Okay, so no illusion magic then. Fair enough. Thanks, my dude. Just bounce around a bit, see if we find anyone. No, Celeste is there. They wanted to get back to work. I think that's probably everything. So if we go to barracks now. Oh, Wallace. Wallace? Who are you? What do you want? Wallace, it's Celeste and Tyrion. From the library, remember? Oh, right. How are you doing? Apparently not well. Please tell me you're going to get me out of here. I keep telling them that I didn't do it, but they still won't let me go. I'm sorry, Wallace, but they found traces of necromancy magic on the body. And because of that, they're going to push your case to trial. What? This can't be happening. Please calm down. We know that you're innocent. With that said, would you let me represent you in court? Oh, right. You said that you were a lawyer. But I don't really have any money to pay you with. Don't worry about that. Oh, Tyrion! Yes! For now, let's just focus on getting you acquitted. Oh, what? Well, I guess it doesn't matter anyways. It's not like I have anything else to lose. That's not exactly the reaction you were expecting. But at least he's cooperating. I don't understand. I was with you in the library the entire time. Why do they still think I'm the murderer? You told the Inquisition, right? Did you tell them that I'm innocent? We did, but as we said before, there are traces of necromancy on the body. And with the state of the body, they believe that she was murdered with a necromancy spell. Apparently, that makes you their prime suspect. I see. Wallace, we heard about the type of magic that you're studying. Don't worry. The headmaster explained it to us already. You just want to use necromancy to become a doctor, right? I understand that you have reservations about talking about your magic, but in order to build a case for you, I need your spell compendium. I don't have one. I know. Eris already told us about that. That's why she gave us a blank one for you to attune to. Do I have to? It's your life on the line, and we need all the information we can get to help you. Sorry, you're right. I'll attune to it. Heals the wounds of the target over the casting time. Wounds on the target are magically healed without leaving any scars or bruises. So it can't restore missing limbs or revive someone. So what if there are no wounds on the body because someone tried to mend the wounds? That's not helpful. That doesn't help Wallace, but it'll explain why there's blood but no wounds on the body. Possibly. And why there's necromantic magic on the body. Now see, magical trace, but there was blood on the floor. Come on. You understand the reason why he's studying this type of magic, but the spells in his compendium are still pretty gruesome. I mean, they're not really. It's a little terrifying that spells like this even exist. Sorry, I know I was being difficult. A long time ago, I showed my compendium to someone I trusted. After she saw my necromancy spells, she told everyone in the academy. That's also when Professor Bellwether started coming after me. I'm sorry, that must have been hard for you. But at least you had Eris. Yeah, I did. How did you and Eris become friends anyway? Another hint of fear from her. Are her fears related to Eris? Probably, considering it's Eris that causes her to become fearful. Come on, Tyrion. Oh, it's a bit of a strange story. Sometimes the other students would steal the ID number off of my locker. Then they'd switch it with one on another locker. They thought it was funny whenever the owner got angry with me. Eris had a bit of a reputation around our school. I'm not sure why, but everyone was scared of her. Even the students from the nobility. It was probably due to some baseless rumors. One day, someone switched my nameplate with hers. I was so scared when she approached me, I couldn't even say anything. But she didn't get angry like the others. She just apologized and gave me back my nameplate. After that, she randomly started talking to me whenever she saw me. We became friends after that. That's nice. It's a good thing he was able to find a friend in a place like that. So I have to ask, if it's caused you so much trouble, why are you still studying necromancy? I want to use it to become a doctor. The headmaster told us the same thing, but you could have just stopped after learning the healing spells. Why are you learning spells that can steal people's life force and raise undead? Life and death are two sides of the same coin. That's the key principle behind necromancy. The first undead was actually a failed attempt to resurrect a human using magic. Wow, I never knew that. Right now, basic necromancy can only heal injuries and wounds, but it can't do anything for disease or deformities. If I could just keep studying, I know that I can create a new type of necromancy. One that can cure diseases and save lives. He specifically wants to cure diseases. Did something happen to him to motivate him that much? I think I can already guess the answer to this question, but how was your relationship with Catherine Bellwether? It's exactly what you'd expect. After word got out about what I was studying, Professor Bellwether would always target me. She'd start yelling at me for the smallest mistakes. She'd do that to some of the other students too, and she'd focus on the ones that were poor like me. That's terrible. I'd wake up each day dreading the possibility that she'd notice me in the hallways. I knew how to avoid her and stay out of her way, but sometimes she'd just come looking for me. I can't believe that after everything that she did, she's just gone. You must have mixed emotions about what happened. I honestly don't know how I feel about it. To be honest, I always wished she would just disappear. But now that it's finally happened, I just feel even more afraid. Even with Bellwether gone, his trauma will still probably linger. I think I'm starting to put things together now. Have you figured something out? Yeah, I just need to take some time to think through everything. The prosecution wants to implicate Wallace despite his alibi. They wouldn't have a reason to do this unless the evidence heavily implicated him. We've learned that Wallace is a necromancer, and he's the only person at the academy that's capable of high-level necromancy. How does the evidence? Magical trace of necromancy was found on the body. There's a trace of necromancy on the body. This means that they think that Wallace used one of his necromancy spells. Even without seeing the traces, it's pretty obvious that magic was used on the body. Right, because there aren't any wounds on it. And the autopsy report found no signs of poison or disease. Which spell do they think Wallace used? If I know Prosecutor Steelwind, she probably already has a theory on which spell he might have used. The prosecution will probably argue that Wallace used one of his spells to kill Bellwether. Going to be Necrotic Blight, but that one. They will probably say that he used Necrotic Blight. That makes sense. Necrotic Blight would have drained the life force from her body. Exactly. No, she was absolutely wounded. I think the necromantic spell was heal or mend wounds. But that's where the contradiction lies. Let's suppose that Wallace did kill Bellwether using Necrotic Blight. There's something at the crime scene that wouldn't be there if that were true. What is wrong with the crime scene? Bellwether's body. Necrotic Blight is a spell that doesn't inflict any visible wounds. There shouldn't have been any blood on the body. But then what really happened? That's the last piece. And if I had to guess, the information we need is being hidden by one of the witnesses who discovered the body. Valentina! She's definitely hiding something. Did you notice how she reacted when I asked you to scan the room? Yeah, she ran away. She didn't even try to be subtle about it. With the way she reacted, I think she may have been trying to hide herself from your detect magic. Which can only mean that there's a magical trace on her. I wonder what she's trying to hide. There's only one way to find out. The next time you see her, could you subtly cast detect magic and scan her? All right. It's been a while since we talked to her. Valerie also mentioned that they still had work to do today. She might be back in the academy's kitchen now. We'll help you, baby boy. It's fine. Where's the kitchen? There it is. Those two are finally gone. I can finally get some cleaning done. Okay, there she is. Use detect magic to scan her from here. Right. Just don't shout the incantation like you always do. Oh, I know that. All right, here goes. Perio Arcanum. What the? What is it? There's a trace of magic on her. I knew it. Which school of magic is it? It's necromancy. There's a trace of necromancy on her. What? What do we do now? We're still not sure how this fits in with everything. For now, let's talk to her and see if we can get more information out of her. If If all else fails, we can confront her with the evidence we have. Oh, it's you two again! Unfortunately for her, that won't work this time. Miss Giannis, did you know that there's a trace of necromancy on Bellwether's body? And that's what he used to kill the professor, right? A necromancy spell? That's the thing. If that were true, a lot of the evidence we found doesn't make sense. I think someone else cast a spell on the body. Is it possible that you saw someone use magic on Bellwether? No, definitely not. Her thoughts are an open book now. If you beat her in an argument, her thoughts might show you what she's hiding. Did you try to cast Mend Wounds on her? That's literally all I want to know. If you tried to heal her, because you didn't know if she was dead or not. Valentina Giannis' psychological profile is complete. Did you see something? Valentina clearly knows more than she's letting on. She found the body alongside her sister and reacted strangely when you mentioned someone may have used magic on the body. What is she hiding? Yes. Miss Giannis, from the very beginning I felt like you've been hiding something from us. There's something that you're not telling us about. What are you talking about? I've told you, and then it's everything I know. I've got nothing to hide. I mean, that's a lie. Miss Giannis, it's clear to anyone how nervous you are. I can practically see the fear that you're emanating right now. Oh, his empathy, not her empathy. Just tell us the truth. It'll be a lot easier for the both of us. Let's say I were hiding something. Which I'm not, by the way. Why should I tell you anything? I know my rights. You've already given your statement to the Inquisition. If the truth comes out, what do you think they'll do when they realize you lied to them? Who are you protecting, Miss Giannis? You talk a big game, but I bet you can't actually prove anything, can you? You think I'm lying to protect someone? I don't even know any mages. You work in a magic school. And I definitely didn't see anyone use magic on the body. You can't hide the truth from us, Miss Giannis. What? You said that you've never even seen a necromancy spell before. If that were true, then why is there a trace of necromancy on you? Wait, what? There's a trace of necromancy on me? What? Did she not know about the spell that was cast on her? No, that doesn't make any sense. If she didn't know about the trace, she wouldn't have avoided Celeste back then. There must be an explanation for this. You've successfully argued against Valentina Giannis. Right, so can you please stop being a dipshit and just help me? This is crazy! Why is there a trace of necromancy on me? Am I going to die? Am I going to become a zombie? That's strange. Is she really unaware that a spell was cast on her? Or is she playing dumb? I mean, she might just be dumb. She knows that someone used magic on her, but she doesn't know that the spell was necromancy. It's probably... Did she get healed? Yeah. Calm down, Miss Giannis. Not all necromancy spells relate to the undead. Healing spells are also from the school of necromancy. Healing spells? That implies that she knows a mage who studies healing magic. Does your sister heal? Could that person be a student here? Sorry, I just remembered that there's something else I have to do. I'll be right back. I'm really getting annoyed with the runaround. Hey, come back here! And so is Celeste. Oh, she ran away again. I can catch her. Rugby tackle her ass to the floor. There's no way she can outrun me. No, the Inquisition is still stationed around the surrounding areas. They'd probably intervene if we started harassing one of the witnesses. Oh, that's true. But we weren't able to learn anything. Actually, I did learn one thing. She has a friend who cast a healing spell on her. Really? How did you figure that out? Good deductive reasoning. Wow. Well, healing magic is also a form of necromancy, right? I guess that explains the trace on her. It's a good thing we know Wallace. Otherwise, we might have also thought that a necromancer was trying to kill her. Wait a minute. That's it. What? Did you figure something out? This whole time we've been wondering why there's a trace of necromancy on the body. It isn't because someone attacked Bellwether with a necromancy spell. It's because someone used necromancy in an attempt to heal her. Oh, I see. It doesn't matter what type of necromancy spell someone uses. Spells from the same school of magic leave the same type of trace. It's not just that. The body clearly has blood on it. What would happen if someone used a healing spell on a wounded body? It would close all of that body's wounds. In other words, it would remove any cuts or bruises. Well, interrogating Valentina may have been a dead end, but it still gave us just what we needed to win this case. I'm not so sure that was a dead end. What do you mean? It's not that suspicious that she asked someone to heal her if she's injured herself. But if it's only that, why would she go to so much trouble to hide it? Because it was her sister who cast heal on the body. It's too coincidental. The wounds on the body were healed by an unknown person. And the person who found the body is hiding the identity of a healer. They have to be the same person. I guess that makes sense. So, what do we do now? Valentina is definitely onto us. I doubt we'll get a third chance to speak with her. Hopefully, what we have now is enough to acquit Wallace. You've done everything you can. Use what you've learned to poke holes in the prosecution's case. And if that doesn't work, you can drag Valentina onto the witness stand and pull the truth out of her. You just hope that what she's hiding is enough to acquit Wallace. I demand to know why you're still holding on to my rapier. It's a precious family heirloom and I want it back. It's evidence in the current case. Evidence? The professor was killed with necromancy. Was she, though? Why are you asking me? You're the one who's investigating this. I suppose it doesn't matter. Just know that I will bring her murderer to justice. No matter who it may be. Alright guys, I think we'll leave it there for now. Oh, case 2 is actually really, really fun. I feel awful for Wallace because he's just a kid, and I know that children are capable of many amazing, wonderful things, but to get across the school and commit a murder and back in the space of a few minutes, I'm not seeing it. I've really enjoyed sort of as much as I've been snarking the game and being, you know, a little mean, I really, really like this. I do think that the writing it's a bit silly and a bit funny, and it's just a really, really good time. And I really, really hope that you are enjoying your time with Case 2 as much as I am. If you did like this video, please leave a like and subscribe. It would mean the absolute world to me. And make sure that you ring that notification bell so you are kept up to date with everything that is going on here. Thank you so, so much for coming back and exploring with me today, guys. And I will see you in the next video. Bye!